Hello, and welcome to the movie universe. I'm your host, Movie Fan. Well, it's the Christmas season, and so I decided to talk about something very new. Beauty and the Beast, The Enchanted Christmas. Now, we all know Beauty and the Beast, but I'm not sure too many people remember this one, because it was made 6 years later, back in '97. And, not to mention, this was one of those movies that never really made it to theaters. They just created it and put it right on VHS. The story takes place during the holiday season when the Beast is still the Beast and the spell has not been broken yet. Belle and the Beast are starting to get along better because this takes place shortly after the Beast had saved her from the wolves. However, what they don't know is that inside the castle there is an individual who wants Belle out. His name is Maestro Forte. He is the castle's pipe organ because that's what he would play. And the sad thing is, he is jealous of Belle. You see, ever since they all got cursed, Maestro Forte kind of became his confidant and best friend because the music helps him kind of deal with the issue of being the Beast. As described in the movie, quote unquote, the Beast says, "Your music is the only thing that helps me forget." And ever since Belle showed up, all of a sudden he's no longer his confidant and best friend. So he wants her gone by any means necessary. Of course, obviously, he can't really do it himself because being a pipe organ, he's bolted to the wall. So he has a little protege of his, Fife, who, as you may have guessed, is a piccolo, try to do his dirty work for him. He's an innocent little guy, but he can't really disobey the maestro, mostly because he promised that he would have a solo for him, and being a musician, of course, he would want that more than anything in the world. So he does what Maestro Forte tells him to do. And while Maestro Forte is planning to get rid of Belle, she is planning to bring Christmas back to the castle, because ever since the castle got cursed, the Beast has forbidden Christmas in the castle. Which it turns out there's an interesting explanation for that. You remember how he got turned into the Beast? Turns out that happened on Christmas Eve. That is why the Beast hates Christmas and has forbidden it. Belle, on the other hand, thinks that a little Christmas cheer would do him some good. So she tries to bring it back to the castle, without him knowing, of course. But they need a little help, and we're introduced to a new character called Angelique, who is basically a little Christmas angel, but she was the castle decorator, and she would always decorate for Christmas every year. But of course, Fife is listening in, and he tells Maestro Forte, who in turn tells the Beast what Belle is planning to do. He confronts her on this, and she still insists on having a Christmas celebration, regardless to what he says about it. She even makes him a present, a storybook that she actually had written herself. And while Belle and the servants are decorating the castle, Maestro Forte is trying to turn the Beast against her. He's trying to convince him that she is nothing but trouble, and most importantly, not to fall in love. Belle ends up meeting Maestro Forte, and he convinces her to go cut down a Christmas tree in the Black Forest. And she's nearly drowned in the ice. Fortunately, the Beast comes and saves her, but he is so mad about how she left the castle when she swore she'd never leave that he locks her in the dungeon. It is at this point that Maestro Forte feels that he has won, and he even tries to convince the Beast to destroy the rose that bears the curse. What would happen if he destroyed it? That we will never know, because just when he was getting ready to smash it, he sees the gift that Belle had made for him, and he reads it. And in the meantime, he thinks about what the book had said, talking about one of the greatest gifts that Christmas could ever bring is hope. So he goes to the dungeon, releases her, and even plans to give her the Christmas that she's always wanted. Now that Maestro Forte has officially lost, he decides that he's just going to destroy them by playing with all his might until the castle crumbles down. At this time, Fife actually learns that Maestro Forte never made a solo for him. It was blank. He deceived him all this time. The Beast, of course, knows that it was Forte because you're hearing all this organ music. Who else could possibly do it? And so he goes to stop him, but Maestro Forte has magic music notes and pushes him back. But Fife tells him the keyboard The Beast lifts up the keyboard and throws it away, smashing it. And that's the end of Maestro Forte. The next morning, they do give Belle the Christmas that she's always wanted. It's a good little Disney Christmas film that everyone should see. And I know a lot of people will be happy to hear this, that it stars every one of the original cast members. As for our new characters, Tim Curry is the voice of Maestro Forte, and Angelique is played by Bernadette Peters. And I know a lot of people are going to be thinking that just because this movie was immediately put out to VHS and never into movie theaters, that the film quality is really bad. Kind of like what they did in The Lion King, how it looked a little lax compared to the first film. Well, allow me to put your mind at ease, because it turns out the film quality is just like the first film. I'm not kidding. They really put their heart into this movie. Of course, you will notice that Maestro Forte is clearly CGI, but I can kind of see why they did this. Obviously, having a giant talking pipe organ that bends and moves would have been very difficult to do. So it's forgivable. And in fact, it's pretty unique, especially considering that look that Maestro Forte has on his face the whole time. It's a great Christmas movie that I think everyone should see. In fact, if you haven't seen it, you should. It's definitely worth watching. Before I go, I want to wish everyone a Merry Christmas. This is Movie Fan, signing off.